Alex Blade has updated Scripthook 5 and that means the mods are back, baby. So we've dug out the new drip feed vehicles from the Chop Shop DLC in GTA Online. My name's Dan, and I'm an old grumpy gamer. As I'm sure you'd know, Rockstar Games preloads almost all drip feed content into its game when they release a major update. They just block it behind weekly updated feature flags, so we can't get at them straight away. Fortunately, between the Scripthook 5 mod, native trainer, add-on car spawner, and menu, savvy PC players are able to dig around and bypass the locks, which is precisely what we did, meaning we've been able to access the Gallivanter Baller ST-D, the Albany Cavalcade XL, Canis Terminus, the Vapid, Benson, Cluckin bell truck, Declasse Impaler SZ, and the police Bravado Gauntlet Interceptor. So starting with the Gallivanter Baller ST-D, which is a 4-wheel drive, 7-speed SUV that can fit 4 people, including the driver, that will retail for $1,715,000 and is able to be fitted with Imani Tech. Originally based on the Range Rover L460, and it's a solid homage to the real one. Right, into LS Customs to take a look at the options, and there are quite a few to choose from here. Arch covers, so a few nice options there. Armor and brakes, so they're the same as usual. Body trim next, and we have a handful of selections there. Onto the front bumper, not a lot going on here, but they do suit the vehicle. The rear bumper options aren't much better either. The engine is just EMS stuff, so we'll skip over that. Exhausts are up next, and yeah, there are a few solid options here. Some good chunky ones and a few rubbish ones, but all in all, not bad. Onto the hood options. Not the biggest range ever, but again, they suit the vehicle and don't look garish or out of place. And the biggie, liveries, and there are some absolute hurlers here. The usual racing stripes in a few different varieties, full wraps, half wraps, and some really novel options. These are all really neat, actually. I'm very impressed. Mirrors next, which is a bit unusual, but a nice touch. A few options worth looking at, and as always, the lower profile the better. Mudguards, again, a bit of a rarity, only on or off though, so that's about it. Respray next, and this is more or less the same as usual. Nothing out of the ordinary here, but you can have a bit of fun between this, pearlescence, and the liveries if you want to. Onto the roof options, and we have plenty of alternatives to choose from. Nothing too inspired though, it's all a bit nah, and really has no effect if you get a full wrap anyway. Spoilers are up next, and again, not terribly inspired, like not bad, but not great. We have the usual low profiles, a few unusual shapes, and the now regular appearance of the ricer spoilers. Sun strips, always a nice touch, but not a lot you can really do with them. Suspension. Now, normally I'd skip this for a review, but I wanted to note a really nice touch. At the lower heights, we're starting to see camber in there, which is a really nice detail. Transmission has all the usual options. Turbo, again, nothing unusual. And wheels next. Some LOL Speed 10s I think will do the trick here. And finally the window tint. Right, there we have it. A fully kitted Baller ST-D ready to go. So, how does it handle? Well, to be honest, it feels a little sluggish and heavy. Doesn't respond terribly well, and it doesn't turn brilliantly either. So yeah, as I expected, an overpriced, oversized, overcompensating American SUV to handle. Like rubbish. Given the liveries and the drop options and Rockstar's insistence on that stupid sunroof, I'm guessing this car isn't really a car guy's car, if you know what I mean. Nice for cruising and kicking around with your mates, but it's all form over function. And that's reflected with the engine and exhaust sound too. It's not super aggressive. Nice burble at idle, but once it gets going, it loses all the angry. And that means it's really not for me, and certainly not at more than 1.7 mil. If, however, you are a bit of a showman, this is your ride. Switching gears to the Albany Cavalcade XL, which is an all-wheel drive, 8-speed SUV that can accommodate up to 4 people, including the driver, and will set you back $1,655,000. It's originally based on the 2023 Cadillac Escalade 5 and is a pretty reasonable lookalike. Right, into LS Customs to take a peek at the options, and there are quite a few to choose from here. Arch covers, so a few options there. Armor and brakes are the standard affair. Onto the front bumpers. Now, not a wide variety, but they mesh well with the vehicle, and the rear bumper options don't offer much variety either. Engine's standard EMS stuff, so we'll gloss over that. Exhausts are up next, and there are some robust options available, a mix of sort of impressive and lackluster ones, but overall pretty satisfactory. Front fenders a bit unexpected and frankly not too thrilling. Mostly unremarkable stuff. Now for the grills. Nothing groundbreaking here, but also nothing disastrous. Overall, a solid job. Onto the hood options next. Now, not the widest selection, but they complement the vehicle well without being too flashy. And now for the liveries. And wow, there are some standouts here. Classic racing stripes between various styles, full and half wraps, along with some unique offerings. These are all, quite appealing. I'm quite taken with them. Mirrors next, which is, again, a bit unusual, but a nice addition. So a few options to consider there, and again, sleeker the better. Respray time. This is the standard routine, nothing extraordinary, but mixing this with the pearlescent finishes and the liveries can be a bit of fun. Moving on to the roof accessories. So there's a decent number of choices, but nothing earth-shattering. They become pretty irrelevant if you opt for the full wrap anyway. Spoilers are next, and the selection is, it's fair. Nothing exceptional, but not terrible either. Includes the standard low profiles, some interesting shapes, and the very familiar ricer spoilers. Skirt, a small yet pleasant detail, so choices are a bit limited however. Suspension, and I normally wouldn't worry about this one, but the camber is fantastic at the lower levels, so that's really meticulous, quite nice. Transmission's just the usual stuff, same as the turbo. Wheels coming up, and let's splurge on some Feroci RRs in shafted purple. And finally, the window tint. Right, there we have it. A fully decked Cavalcade XL ready for action. Time for the road test. And straight away I can see I'm really not the target audience for this, but the handling's reasonable. It turns pretty well, which you'd expect with this kind of camber, and it sticks to the ground pretty well for what it is. Not much of a fan of the note on this one. Seems a bit muted and muddy, but again, it's meant to be a luxury SUV, not a neck-snapping street machine. Honestly, livery aside, which I think is brilliant, I'm not much of a fan of this one. I mean, if it came up on the casino podium, I'd grab it, but I don't think I'd go for it as a prize ride or spend money on it. That said, I'm not the target market for this, and if you are, please let me know in the comments. And let's round out the big boys. The Canis Terminus, an all-wheel drive, 6-speed off-road vehicle that can accommodate up to 4 people, including the driver. This rugged off-roader will hit the market at $1,877,500. Damn. And it can be fitted with Imani Tech too, so that's kind of handy. This is originally based on the 4th generation Jeep Wrangler Rubicon JL. The Terminus is a pretty good representation of the really iconic 4-wheel drive. Right, so into LS Customs to explore the options, and there are some solid selections to choose from here. Arch covers, a few options to choose from, but I think we'll keep that one stock. Armor and brakes are standard. Onto the front bumper. Not a huge range, but they fit the vehicle's style. Rear bumper options are pretty limited too. Oh, door options, interesting. And there's a fair number to consider. This should be fun. Engine is just the standard EMS stuff, so we'll skip that. Exhausts are up next, and there are some decent options, a mix of hefty and less impressive ones. Overall, not bad. Taking a look at the grills, a few good options here, and very, very Jeepy. Not entirely sure how Rockstar's devs have gotten away with this, but I'll take the W. Let's make him an angry boy. On to hood options. Not the most extensive range, but they suit the vehicle and don't look out of place. And the highlight, the liveries. Some absolute gems here. The usual racing stripes in various colours, full wraps, half wraps, and some pretty unusual choices. These are all actually really good. I'm really impressed. Respray next, and the standard as usual. Nothing out of the ordinary here, but it's fun to mix and match. On to the roof options. A good number of choices, but nothing too extraordinary. The full delete is really nice though. Makes it feel like a proper off-roader. Skirts are up next, and the selection's okay. Nothing amazing, but it's not disappointing either. Includes the standard stuff. Nice chunky options. Suspension, this is more or less standard, but I'll leave it as stock because I want the clearance. Transmission standard, and so is the turbo. Wheels up next, and it's got to be the chrome mudslingers with custom tyres. Ooh, window accessories, yeah, nice. Now we know the snorkels are useless, they always are, but let's see about this light bar. It works on the Comanche and the mil spec, so here's hoping Rockstar sorted it on this one too. And finally window tint, yeah, no point there. Right, and there we have it, a fully equipped Canis Terminus ready for the great outdoors. Now a quick declaration here, I have a massive soft spot for these because Mrs. Grumpy Gamer used to own one, and yes, it got used properly, a lot. So with that in mind, let's use it properly. Right, first things first, the light bar works, nice. Okay, we're going mountain crawling with this monster to see what it's like. And yeah, it's really capable, like really capable. It's not quite as harsh as the Drauga or the trophy truck, but it just eats the hills up like they're nothing. Super grippy and surprisingly stable given the ride height. Suspension travel is epic and animated really well. It's got a nice note and a sharp bark on the release, and it's super stable under braking. Downhill is neat too, not a lot of rolling, and it's able to stop as soon as it gets some grip. I like this machine, I am definitely buying one. This will make a cracking addition to the off-roader garage. Still a little pricey for my taste though. It's not that much more of a car than the Comanche, which is only 300k. But if you like bouldering and have some spare cash, this is definitely a winner. Moving on to the Vapid Benson, the Cluckin Bell variant. This is a rear-wheel drive, 5-speed commercial vehicle that can fit 2 people including the driver that will retail for $685,000. It's originally based on the International 4700 series and is a pretty reasonable homage to this one. Right, into LS Customs and let's take a look at the options and nope, can't customize this one. Well, there's a missed opportunity. Oh, and it's only available through Pegasus. Well, damn. Okay, so you can collect the Benson via Pegasus. It can't be customized, it can't be made a personal vehicle, and only seats 2 people. Right, well, it's a box truck with no performance upgrades, and it handles like it. It's a bit sluggish, heavy, poor turning circle, all the usual stuff. It's pretty good at plowing through traffic though, like don't get me wrong, it's not a Phantom Custom, not by any stretch. But yeah, I mean it could be worse. A few blind spots though, so not great for the cyclists and bikers. I can see a bit of a drinking game being made out of clobbering people on pushies here though. It's a bit of fun putting around the map, and you could roleplay as a delivery driver if you wanted to. It's definitely faster than the post-op van, but about as much fun to drive. To be honest, I'm not sure why this is a purchasable vehicle, but it is what it is. I don't think I'll be grabbing it though. Turning our attention now to the Declasse Impaler SZ, a rear-wheel drive 4-speed sedan that comfortably seats 4 people, including the driver. This stylish ride comes with a price tag of $1,280,000. Drawing inspiration from the 94 to 96 Chevrolet Impala SS, the Impaler SZ stands as a pretty good homage to its real-life counterpart. Right, into LS Customs for a look at the customization, and we can find, yeah, quite a few options to pursue. Arch covers, so we've got a few options there. Body trim next, offering a selection of choices. Front bumper options, not extensive, but they fit the car's aesthetic. Rear bumper selections aren't much more varied either. Engine is standard EMS stuff, so we'll move on. Exhausts are up next, and a mix of solid and underwhelming choices, but overall decent. Front diffuser, bit of a letdown, frankly, nothing too exciting there. Grills are next, and while it's not groundbreaking, they aren't disappointing either. Some respectable work here. Headlights, ooh, okay, these are neat. Ooh, I like the iridescent ones. Hood options are limited, but look quite neat. And, oh, look at the big chonky boy. Right, nice. And the liveries, some real standout designs here, a mix of racing stripes and full and half wraps. Some really inventive options. I'm quite impressed. Rear diffuser next, all of the standard options, and the wheelie bar. That's promising. Respray follows the standard routine. Nothing out of the ordinary, but you can have a bit of fun with the pearls and the liveries on this one. Sun strips are a small but pleasant detail. Options are pretty limited though. Spoilers, nothing spectacular here, but not bad. It includes the usual low profiles, some unusual shapes, and of course, riser Suspension, which I'd usually skip, but again, neat touch with the emerging camber, especially when it's slammed. Transmission, turbo and wheels are all standard, but let's go with a set of Duper 7s in black. And finally the window tint. And there we have it, a fully equipped Declasse Impaler SZ ready to cruise the streets. Now, Rockstar wants us to make this look like a drag car, so let's head to the airport and see if it performs like a drag car. That engine note is a bit weak. I'd expect a lot more burble and bark from it. Smoke's up a treat though, and definitely the right choice of rims. But that takeoff is really underwhelming, and it seems, off the pace, like really off the pace. The backfire and the spool down is a bit muted too. I don't know, maybe I'm missing something here. It looks great. That livery, the spoiler, and the drag hood really makes this look like it should be a meaty piece of kit, but I am not feeling it. Let's hit the public roads. Handling wise, it's pretty good though. Minimal body roll, seems to handle the road terrain okay. Not a lot of weight to it, but it's holding its own okay. But geez, it really looks the business. The pearl overlay really does this thing well, and with the spoiler and the dupers, it comes together nicely. I might try a cruiser build of this a bit later and see how that goes. But for now, it kind of feels a bit meh. The bodywork, liveries, and accessories are writing checks the engine just can't cash. I really expected this to be Ken Block bonkers. Oh well, look, if you're into cruisers or you like machines that just look stunning, and let's face it, who isn't, then not a bad investment. If you're after raw performance, nope. And finally, this DLC's big bad, the Bravado Police Gauntlet Interceptor, an emergency vehicle that boasts a powerful presence. This model, a variant of the standard Gauntlet Hellfire, can be yours for, wait, that can't be right, hang on, 5,420,000, what the actual So this can be yours for just shy of $5.5 million, a bit less with the trade price. Drawing inspiration from the 2018 Dodge Challenger Demon, 5th gen Chevrolet Camaro and 6th gen Ford Mustang, the Police Gauntlet Interceptor is a reasonable homage to these real-life speed demons. Right into LS Customs to take a gander at the customizations. And there's a good number of options available. Armor brakes are all standard, there's body trim with a handful of selections, front bumpers and splitters. Just splitters on a cop car. Yeah, alright, sure, why not? Rear bumper options are also limited, but adequate. Engine is the typical EMS stuff, so we'll skip that. The exhaust offers some solid choices. A mix of bulky and unimpressive, but overall not too shabby. Grills. Now, this is where we see some cool stuff. Deletes, grills, there's some really aggressive options here. Nice. Headlight covers next, and again, some really aggressive choices. Half and halves, dual inlets, a few really nice options. Super mean looking, dual headlight intakes it is. Hood options, and you can tell this thing is built to intimidate. Really heavy, chunky looking variants, and even protruding superchargers. We've seen a few brutal looking options in this DLC, and I hope this one can deliver. Liveries, and we have pretty much every department's option available here, including some of the public relations division, like the drag team. Feels like it's going to be a highway patrol build though. Police equipment, and we have, a few options here. So let's take a look at the array, and we have 7 options, all completely devoid of descriptions, and honestly a little hard to see with that pure white roof. I'm liking the last one though, it's a bit of an everything bagel. Searchlights next, and just a few options, but you can't really ask for many more. I sincerely hope these work. Emergency lighting next. Again, Rockstar with the W on the description. A few options here, a neat retro one, plus a few modern ones. Not bad, not great, but not bad. And finally, push bars, and some, really good options here. Precisely what you'd expect from a well-equipped law enforcement vehicle. Rear panel, that's a bit unusual. Neat options though, bit of a treat. Respray and the standard as usual, nothing out of the ordinary, but pearlescent and liveries can add some flair. It does give us a chance to dial back the white though, so that's a relief. Roof options present a few choices, but nothing groundbreaking. Spoilers, and the selection's fair. Nothing spectacular, but nothing terrible. Standard low profiles, some unusual stuff. and the usual drag stuff. Suspension, so that's more or less standard. Transmission, turbo, and wheels are all standard, but I think I'll switch to classic rod rims with the custom design. And finally, window tint. And there we have it, a fully kitted Bravado Police Gauntlet Interceptor ready for action. Okay, let's drop ourselves where it's most likely to get used, near Trevor's place. And look at it, damn, that looks mean. Ooh, and the lights work too, which is great because I yanked the headlights in favour of inlets, so driving at night was going to be, yeah, interesting. Okay, let's give it a quick run up the main road, and oh my days, this thing is quick. I know you can't see it on screen, but the thing is going so quick, the Rockstar Editor Recordy doodad has popped up to say, I can't change camera angles, and that normally only happens in jets. The engine note on this is glorious, and the bark on the spool down. A few cars have looked the business in this DLC, but I think this is the first one that's actually delivered on its promises as far as looks versus performance goes. Onto the highway, and yeah, good turning circle. Other drivers are respecting the lights. It's sticking to the ground nicely, despite rubbish roads. Braking is sharp without being nuts. Handles sneaking off the road a bit without too many dramas too. Yeah, this is nice, like really nice. At that price though, just 5.5 million. Even with the trade price at 4, that's outlandish. I'd have real trouble justifying this even with all the grinding money. But yeah, what a machine. And that's it, thanks for watching. Don't forget to let us know which ones you'll be grabbing in the comments. Stay safe, wash your hands, and we'll see you in the next video.